Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we are playing blue, white, Phelia, Blink with no reserve list cards. You can build this entire deck for less than $1,000, and it features bangers such as Phelia, Exuberant Shepherd, who can blink, Quantum Riddler, allowing us to draw tons of cards and get a 4-6 ahead of schedule. We also have Murktide, which combos with Roiling Dragonstorm. Roiling Dragonstorm also being a nice permanent that we can blink with Phelia if we don't have anything else to blink. So we can grow our Phelia and we can get a nice trigger that allows us to draw 2 cards and discard a card. This is very cool because you can filter by binning lands you don't need. And if you look at the mana base, I just want to point out there is not a single non-basic in this list. 61% of decks currently have 4 Wastelands in them. So we are basically just turning off that entire facet of their deck and giving ourselves really good mana. Well, how do you achieve this? How do you have a 2-color deck and still reliably get your colors? Well, in addition to the Prismatic Vista and the on-color fetch, we are playing Fabled Passage. I've never played this before, but it seems pretty good. It is more limited in the sense that it will bring the land into play tapped if you don't have at least 4 total lands in. So if you bring the land in tapped, and then you get to untap it if you have 4 lands after you have triggered this. So it is weaker than Prismatic Vista, but you don't have to pay a life. And we did need another way to reliably get the mana. Like, it's easy to underestimate how hard it is to get 1 blue and 1 white. And we do want to play a lot of basics, and we do want to not get wastelanded. So I'm going to try this. This mana base is very inexpensive. We have lots of interaction here. We've got Plows and Solitudes, and we've got Ang, Swift Savior, or Ang as he's frequently called, and this will essentially push a card out of the way with his ability, his airbend ability. So if he has Flash, let's say you Solitude something, then you can Ang and push your Solitude out of the way so it doesn't have to sacrifice because it's not in play to see the evoke trigger, and then you can just pay 2 mana during the next turn and cast your Solitude, exiling yet another creature. It's really insane, this interaction. And again, we should have the mana to do this. We're playing 19 lands, and all the excess lands we can dump to Roiling Dragonstorm. We can get late game card advantage by playing a Murktide and bringing this back to hand and reusing it. I've got 5 force effects. We're not on any sort of tempo plan. We just assume we're not going to interact with our opponent's lands at all. Although in the sideboard, we do have back to basics. So this can come in against lands. This can come in against big mana decks. I've got 4 consigns and 3 additional force negations. So total of 8 forces in the 75. And then we have 2 dress downs. These are very good against Thassa's Oracle. These are also good against constructs. Speaking of constructs, I've got a couple Wrath of the Skies, and if we get paired against combo or aggro, we have some prismatic endings, which are convenient. We are a Tamiyo deck, and we have 7 ways to flip her if you include Roiling Dragonstorm for just 1 spell, basically. So she should flip quite a bit. I'm very excited to hopefully get insane value with Phelia, and I'm excited to see how this no non-basic land mana base holds up. First round has already started. We're on the play. Opponent's likely on Ocelot Pride mid-range. So we have Tamiyo, and we can flip her as soon as we find a land. And we don't have to worry about them wasting us. We don't have access to white, which might be a problem. And we can't Phelia turn 1. I think this is a mulligan. I do want to have 2 lands. This is fine. We don't have a turn 1 play. We can play Fabled Passage, get an island, and then we can get a plains, and then we have Phelia and Riddler the next turn, and we have Force to back it up. I think this is good enough. I'm going to put back a Brainstorm, and I'll just go ahead and Fabled Passage here. It is going to be nice fetching without losing life. Now, obviously, as I said, this is weaker than traditional fetches. All right, so this is looking more like blue-black tempo, maybe. Okay, they're pondering. We do have Force if they're on a combo deck. That is a sweet-looking island. I mean, all the art in that's the horror movie set is really cool. Hopefully they're not a Daze deck, because I do want to stick a Phelia, but if they kill her, so be it. You know, I'll just try something else. So we're going to go ahead and get our island here. Just showing minimal information. Like, this card is not played in Legacy. This is a concession to the fact that we're playing no reserve list cards. So I'm just going to wait, and we've got Daze protected Force up if they try to combo us, and then we'll just Phelia into a Riddler. Okay, Brainstorm. That's fine. Again, it'll suck if they have days. I'll fight it, and then I can refill my hand basically with Riddler. I can pitch this Murk. Okay, so I'm definitely getting blue-black tempo vibes. But with the sheer volume of cantrips they're casting, maybe they are on like black-white or black-blue Show and Tell or Doomsday. Yeah, I'm looking forward to fighting over this Phelia. I think that is correct. They could have double days. Okay, so it's Doomsday. Sure, Dark Ritual resolves. That was a very aggressive Doomsday. Do you have a force to back all that up? They do. Okay, so there is possible that we can do something here. The other option is we could just get off Phelia train and just try to find one of our 4 other forces in our deck. They've gone all in on this thing. The main problem is if we do that, who knows whether we're going to be able to deploy Phelia. Like if they have a slow pile, they've only got 2 cards left, and they used a pedal to get here. It's hard to figure out. My daughter, I think she's crying for some reason. Sorry if I seem distracted. That's why. I'm playing in real life. I'm not a pro streamer. I'm after a long day's work. My kids, I took them to play basketball. They're at home. Okay, so staying focused on the task at hand. So if we brainstorm, then we have to Riddler. I like just Pheliaing here. I think I'm going to let this go. We'll learn more about their deck. It sucks that they have this, but yeah. All right, so I apologize if you heard some a 10-year-old girl crying in the background. She got bit by the cat because she was doing something the cat didn't like, and it's nothing serious. It didn't like break the skin or anything, but like she got upset. Okay, so we're gonna get our planes here, and we're gonna jam our Phelia, and it's possible that Riddler reveals. So we're gonna get a card. If it's a land, then we can get deeper. Oh man, that sucks. So Riddler's not going to get 2 cards. I think I need a brainstorm to hit a Riddle, like a land. There's a high likelihood we hit it. Want to try it? We did it. So Phelia goes back. I mean, Solitude and Phelia are actually, we'll draw these. So we play the land and we keep, it doesn't really matter. Like if they force here, it's pretty bad. Solitude, Phelia is going to be the card we pitch. And then at least I have Solitude here. I can't Ang this turn. Again, I'm going to try to call him Ang. I know that's what he's called in the show, even though like knowing his Chinese name and intentionally mispronouncing it like the show does, it feels awkward. Okay, so let's put Phelia on top because she is our pitch to Solitude here. Now we go like this. We're going to go ahead and do this. Okay, and this is in, so we get 2 cards. Now we have Solitude. They have to clear their pile entirely. We get to put some damage on them, and they're basically dead on board. Yeah, they are dead on board because, man, like my daughter is really angry. She said to the cat, "You're a big dummy." Okay, so this comes back. Sorry, I hope you don't think I'm like making light of my daughter's toils or whatever, or struggles, but yeah, I mean, come on. It's at the end of the world. She needs to toughen up. Okay, so this comes in. We get another card. Freaking double Solitude. Okay, so they have to clear their pile completely. Anything less, like force won't protect them. Like I will pitch my entire hand. Okay, and now what I can do is I can just use Ang here to mess them up. Like I think they screwed up. Like how are they going to win? I'm not going to blink anything. I'm just going to hold up Ang on top of everything else. Ang double Solitude. This should work. They're taking lethal. I can just Ang this, and then they take lethal, and then if they interact with this somehow, okay, we got it. All right, the deck feels good. That felt good. So I think they are playing like Dress Down's going to be insane here. I love this card. I don't love Consign as much. It really just hits the Thassa's trigger. I think it's a good like if you're playing a deck that doesn't have as many answers as we already have. That makes sense. Consign does have favorable interaction with Riddler, by the way. The fact that they're playing Orcish Bowmasters tells me they're playing kind of a more mid-rangey, not all-in combo version. But when will we ever lose to a non-combo version is the question I'm asking. So why not just bring in the Force Negations, right? We can go down on Solitude a little bit. I do like the Solitude being like free interaction, but I do wonder if it's necessary to have them all. With Ang in the deck, we do have another out if they stick like a giant Baragoi, if we can like push them out of the way temporarily. Phelia also does a good job of like getting him out of the way so we can get through. If we're going down on white cards, like maybe we just want to take Solitude out completely. It was nice, don't get me wrong. And then if we're taking that out, we could probably go down an Ang as well. Okay, so this is not a keep. I do want, like, if they just do what they did, like they very cavalierly put that on the stack last time, and they did have the force to back it up. I'd like to have a double force hand. This is close enough. So here I think Ang is the slowest card in the... Yeah, I'll put this back. And so we have Tamiyo with flip. If they try to do like a Dark Ritual Barragoyf, we have that line covered. I will play turn 1 Tamiyo. Okay, Riddler is just another blue card, basically. Now, by playing out Tamiyo, we are making ourselves vulnerable to them having daze. But they didn't daze that, and I think they would probably daze that. And if I go close to Hellbent, then Riddler really... Like, we saw Riddler like just pull us right back into the game there, drawing like, 3 cards. It was very strong. This is black for Fatal Push. I'm not going to fight, but I don't have a lot going on here, unfortunately. I think I need a ponder for land. I am playing 19 land, which is a lot of land, especially considering it can't be wasted. Oh, there we go. I think I just ponder first. I could even brainstorm and see if they just maybe like get jumpy and go after that. Because I wouldn't mind shuffling away this plow maybe. Okay, they didn't do anything. Okay, Roiling Dragonstorm is great actually because we can use it to set up. And I've got double force now. And I can play a second Tommy. So what I'll do is I'll put this on top. And next turn I can flip her with Roiling Dragonstorm. Yeah, that's pretty perfect actually. So double force if we need it. And then Tamiyo flip. And then we're really far ahead. They could have a combination of daze and force. And we would go to Hellbent. But if we go to Hellbent, we do have our friend Riddler to draw us 2 cards. Okay, my kids are screaming really loud. I don't know if you heard that. Hey, I'm doing my best to like focus on the game, but the kids are like really naughty today. Okay, this is Doomsday. Yeah, well, I don't really want that. I'm gonna pitch the ponder here. Okay, we stopped it. That's great. All right, and now I'm just going to go ahead and create the clue, and then I'll Roiling Dragonstorm, and hopefully that'll yield us a land as well. Like, man, my kids are being really naughty. Feel bad for my wife over there, but the show must go on. I'm on a clock over here. That's my excuse for being derelict. Okay, so I think we don't need this backup Tamiyo, but like, are they gonna jam a Barragoyf here? Oh, they have Unearth. I didn't see that. I guess they surveilled that. So, I mean, I don't think we need this backup Tamiyo. I'll pitch the Riddler if I absolutely have to force something. It's a bummer we didn't find land. All right, so we'll plus. We can regrow a force as well next turn if we need to do that. But I think they have Bowmasters, so I don't really want to put Tamiyo in harm's way yet. I'll probably tick her up to 6 and then tick her down to 3. All right, it looks like they're going to try to Doomsday again. Yeah, I'm not going to allow it. I can regrow a force. I've got Plow if they try to use an incomplete POW here. They did have a force. Okay, and they're forcing it through. Aye. Very forward with the Doomsdays here. I don't think we've misplayed or anything, but yeah, it's going to be tough because I don't have a lot of pressure. Like, Tamiyo Ultimate will probably in their likelihood of winning because I can get double, or I can go get a Dress Down, which will stop them from winning. Like, Dress Down just does it. But you never want them to resolve the Doomsday. All right, well, my opponent's last card was Brainstorm, so they may just win here. Doomsday can just win out of nowhere, unfortunately. Like if the Doomsday resolves, they may have a deterministic path. Okay, they're cantripping. Okay, I think Plow's not going to be enough. I'll be stunned if it's enough here. Strand gives me the ability to plow and to crack a clue. I think I should probably get back the force here. I could get back the Brainstorm. I think I'm just going to get back the force. And then I can rely on the clue to get me a blue card for it. The other option is I could just get Brainstorm here. And there's a good chance I'll Brainstorm into... but I won't Brainstorm into a Force of Will is the thing. Because I've only got 2 left in my deck. I probably should have cracked the clue first. I'm going to get the Brainstorm. Because I could find Dress Down and that could save me. They have one card in hand. There's no benefit. I've already played my land. Almost everything I'm going to do. Yeah, everything I'm going to do is going to happen at instant speed here. So what I'm going to do is I'll just brainstorm. Oh, wait, let's take a look at their pile. I didn't even think to do that. Okay, so the Buffalo Chicken Dip Fop. I see Forces out. 3 days is out. Unearth's out. I don't see any cyclers, which makes you think that they may have 2 cyclers, which is why I think we're going to need to find Dress Down here. I don't see the Caverns. I think they have a Cavern in the pile too. But I don't expect any stack interaction. Okay, so options. 1, we just brainstorm now. We can shuffle, then we can crack, and that might give us a look at a Force if we need it, but that's not going to get us where we need to go because they almost certainly have the Cavern. I think we just wait and see what we're up against. There's no way we're going to kill them in time at 8 life. We have to stop whatever they're going to do here. This is the Thoughtseize. Unfortunately, okay, so I could fetch a Plains, and then I brainstorm, put the Plains on top, and then I don't think they have the mana to win this turn. And they should see that I'm... Oh, well, wait a second. Unfortunately, yeah, that doesn't work. Okay, I'm just going to let them take it, and then I'll crack. They'll probably just take the plow, but then they're vulnerable to something I could find out brainstorm. But they could just wait a couple turns. That gives me time to find Dress Down, though. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and try to find Dress Down now. And then plow will maybe work too. Okay, we found the plow. All right. Now the question is, do they have a way to like cycle their way to an empty pile once this goes on the stack? I don't think they do because they took my plow. Okay. And they could have a second plow, or they could have a second one because they're still playing the game. So I'm drawing a fetch. I can fetch, and then I can clue. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's grab another Plains. Plus here. Trying to think if there's any reason not like to wait because they could have another. I mean, they obviously have another one. It's just a question of like, is it this card or the next card? I'll have to get extremely lucky here, but I just need to stop the next wave. They may wait a turn cycle, which would give me a chance to regrow a Force to stop it. Okay, they are. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and draw. Okay, I did find a plow, but that doesn't help anymore because they're just going to wait. So I need a blue card, and then I regrow a Force, and then I think we're okay. Gosh, that sucks. I have to regrow a Brainstorm here. Yeah, I'm going to regrow Brainstorm. They've got 2 cards to their name. Let's see what we can find. It has to be Dress Down or a Force. Blue card. This works. This works. Let's see. I could keep Phelia. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Murktide actually would have returned this to my hand. Maybe I should have gotten Murktide instead of this fetch. Okay. So even if they have uncounterability, I can still push it. And they will be able to replay it. Oh no, because they'll still have 2 mana if they play out the thing. That doesn't work. All right. Yeah, that sucks. That really sucks. So close. But they can just pay the 2 mana. Yeah. Every single card mattered here. And it looks like they realize that they can just recast it. Yep, good game. Because they're completely clear, the plow doesn't do anything. All right. That was a close one. All right. So I think we did see Barry in there. Yeah, I don't think we want Solitude. I like having all these forced negations just because we're going to need them, frankly. They can, if they're like a skilled Doomsday pile, they'll almost always be able to build a pile that beats whatever however you're trying to disrupt them. You have to stop the Doomsday itself. When you stop the Doomsday itself, their deck is pretty weak. But the problem was they had protection and double Doomsday. So I don't think I did anything wrong there. It could be that a second Ong helps. But the main problem, yeah, I think because it interacts on the stack, it's probably better than Plow. Let's do it. I mean, that was a very aggressive Tomio flip. They were able to get the cards they needed very quickly. That's a mulligan, no lander. Oh my goodness, I've got 19 freaking land deck. Come on, don't do this to me. I don't care how many forces it has. I need lands. Okay, this is land. So we'll keep... there's no reason to shuffle my deck. It doesn't really help me. It doesn't hurt me, though. I'll keep the double force hand. No, I have to put back 2 cards, so I can't keep the double force hand. It's so frustrating. I mean, eventually this brainstorm is better with a fetch. We could put this back. I'm very sad to put back a force, but I think it is correct. No, I'll put back a Brainstorm. It doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem right. I'm going to just, yeah. All right. So we'll play out the island here and we'll pass. Yeah, that was a rough mulligan. My deck is not supposed to need to mulligan that much. When you have 19 lands in your deck, the odds of you mulliganing twice, pretty low. And those were like full-on no-landers. So it's 5.82%. So the odds of us getting 2 no-landers in a row with our deck, is that right? Is it really that low? 0.3%? Okay, but my point is it's unlikely. All right, so they're fetching here. I've got 8 minutes, so I do need to play a little quickly. It really bothered me that I got no landers like that. And it sounds like it was just extremely bad luck. But to lose due to extremely bad luck, like if I was only putting back one of those cards, or both of those other cards, if one of those had a land, I probably would have just kept. Dress down, love it. All right, we'll just chill. I don't really have anything to do here. I could brainstorm at the end, but like I just want to draw a land, so I don't think I'll do anything this turn cycle. They are playing Thoughtseize, so there is a risk. I'm not going to pull land out of my deck. I just want to naturally draw it. All right, perfect. Let's pass. They're a Daze deck. But Dress Down is the tool. As long as they don't Thoughtseize it out of our hand, it gives us a lot of wiggle room. It would have saved our butts the previous game, for sure. And as long as we're developing our mana, we're ramping up toward our end game of Riddler. Tomio's fine. Wasteland. That will find no quarter here. So they could have Bowmasters here. I could brainstorm and then I could just Dress Down. I could just push this out of the way. I think this is a mana efficient thing to do. They daze it. It's not that big of a deal. I'm trying to think. Like the best draw would just be like a Phelia here, but like a land number 4 would be fine too. I think I'm just going to chill. Okay. That's not bad. That's not bad. Like this deck just wants to draw land, and we've gotten lucky and drawn 2 lands off the top. So I think at the beginning of combat, I will just go ahead and do this. Oh, they could waste. I made a mistake. They could waste here and daze me. But if I fetch now, then they can just daze me right now. Oh, and this is going to flip this. Do I want to force this? I mean, like it feels pretty bad to force this. I think I just let it go, and then I can just attack it for 1. Yeah, I'm going to let it go. Hopefully this will be an imperfect brainstorm and they won't find a fetch. I just can't lower my guard to Doomsday. Like I can deal with Tamio. It'll take a while, but I'll deal with her eventually. Okay, and we denied them a clue at least. Okay, they did have a land, but it's not a fetch, so they did an imperfect brainstorm there to flip her. The main problem is we don't have Prismatic Ending in the 75, or we do in the sideboard, but it's not in the deck. So how do we actually clear this? We have to find like enough attack power to kill it. Not a fan of this. I'm going to let it go. Yeah, I think they might be able to Doomsday on top of this. This is a pretty big disaster, really. Just like mulling twice was so disastrous. They took the brainstorm. Interesting. So I think they probably have a force. I'm going to take a natural draw here. Okay, plow is okay. So we'll attack our Tamio over here. She is going to keep creeping up, though, as long as we keep breaking. Yeah, we just don't have a good answer to her main deck. Like, the answer is have a Murktide. Have a Riddler. Get, like, race ahead of her. Okay. So I think we only have, like, 3 or 4 more turns. This is a Murktide, which is fine. I'll just plow it out of the way. You can gain some life over there. They kept the Thoughtseize in their yard. I think they're planning to maybe regrow it at some point. Fine if they want to do that. I'm going to do this in the end step. Got to get this out of the way so we can keep hitting Tamio. If they force here, unfortunately, I probably have to force back. Yeah, man, this is a bad situation. Fooboard! Come on. That's land number 5. That gives us hardcast force, but they know what I drew. Yeah, I mean, they're not doing anything. This has so far technically been like a 0 value Tamio, even though it has saved them some life. And it really sucks to like force into... You know what I'm going to do right now? I think I'm going to go ahead and fetch now and just not have to worry about them wasting me and dazing me. Like they may have daze, but they're not going to be able to do the, there's the trick where they waste your fetch and then they can daze you when you have to fetch to get, and I just want to have my hard cast up and I've got perfect mana. As I said many times, I'm very happy with the ability to just play on basics. And I feel like this deck is built in a responsible way where we can do that. Hasn't been an issue, at least in this match. Okay, so they're getting closer. I don't know how many threats they have that we have to work through here. Dark Ritual, they know. Okay, what is this? That's a lot of mana. Is this a... I think they may have a Baraglyph as well. I'm going to bite. I think they're going to Doomsday after this, unfortunately. I want to keep this dress down just in case they do try to Doomsday, because that's one more thing they have to clear. Edge of Autumn. Okay. Hope you found what you're looking for, because like that, it seems weird to not just edge first. They knew my hand. They knew I had Hardcast Force. They may have just forgotten. Long goodbye. Well, that is unfortunate, but I could still draw an answer. Okay, so that was... and that's their last land. If we can clear this, we can win. We can absolutely win if we can clear this, but my deck, we'll see whether it cooperates. I mean, I might have to dress down just to try to increase the likelihood of finding something. Let's go. Find me a Phelia. Find me a Phelia. My kingdom for a Phelia. This doesn't do it. This does not do it. I'm not going to risk brainstorming. Dress down's fine. It could dig harder. Come on, let's find Phelia. Ugh. I'm going to fetch just to thin. And then I'm going to dress down and I'm going to try to find a Phelia now rather than later. It sucks, but like I just have to address this damn Tamio. I don't want to wait. Come on, WinCon. There we go. I'm going to make it full size. Screw it. Wait. I want to take I'll take the Aang out of my sideboard. Okay, now they can get a longer buyback. This is going to die. They have one card. I don't know what they could... Oh, this actually, because of my dress down, this comes in as a 3/3. So I punted like exiling stuff. It'll still take loyalty off Tamio and keep her in a lock. But like, it sucks that we had to play it this way. But this is the world Wizards wants us to live in, where Tamio continues to be legal. Okay, so that dies. Yeah, that sucks. But this is hard to kill. Like long goodbye doesn't hit it. Like, they might minus here just to get some value. No, they're plussing. Oh my goodness. Tamio blocks Tamio. So now we need to find a removal spell. I'm so frustrated. I'm sorry. I'm trying to like contain my frustration. But like this, our deck has just been giving us a terrible time. Okay, let's go find interaction, please. I mean, sadly, this doesn't do it. None of this stuff does it. Riddler gets us deep. Okay, so I think we take the Riddler. That gets us 2 cards. Then we Dragonstorm. And we're just looking for a plow. So we can clear the way. Blue. White, I guess. Warp. I mean, like our deck is just totally stout. Like we're so far ahead, it's not even funny. But it's not going to matter, unfortunately. Because we're not going to find this damn answer. We could fire like into one more cantrip if we don't find it. There we go. I'll discard this passage. Go ahead and kill this. And then I can take some loyalty off Tamio. And then next turn we should be able to kill her. Gosh, what a freaking ordeal. My heart. Like our deck has all the tools, but I'll be damned if like that is not like just totally nerve-wracking. Like this game shouldn't even be close, in my opinion. With like, you know, I don't know. I don't want to feel entitled. I don't want to sound entitled to a win, but like, come on. And we can just play this out of Warp next turn if we want to. I mean, okay, Wasteland is their draw for turn. That's fine. I am still just terrified that they're going to have like some sort of bounce effect or something like that. I'll play this out. I'm going to go ahead and do this before combat. We're getting 2 cards here. Okay, let's go ahead and... What could they do? I could Phelia and then I could ponder and I get 2 more cards. I think that's actually correct. I'm trying to think of what they could do here. Force negation seems solid. Yeah, so we'll take that. That doesn't do anything this turn. But that covers next turn. Okay, so now we're going to try to take some loyalty off your precariously close to killing us, Tamio. Does that work? Okay, they didn't have the bounce. So she remains at low loyalty, and now we're incredibly far ahead. They can regrow Longaby for Phelia on the way out. Yeah, that's what they're going to do. Okay, they'll just do that during combat, I guess. If they let me untap, I can't counter it because it's uncounterable. All right, well, I will play my land. I do still have a plains in the deck, and I think an island. I'm going to go ahead and do this now. If I find an I can push that to the side, but then they can just re-roll it, so it's not really going to work. I've got less than 2 minutes. I need to kill them. Let's go ahead and go to combat, and I'll just save some of this stuff for post-combat. Okay, so this is going to die. That's fine. I have to kill Phelia. I totally lost track of my clock. You were probably screaming at me like, oh no, time. So let's just kill her. No, wait. They minus, so I can attack her with this, and I can attack them with this. And I just need to get the damage in. Like, they may have been playing to that contingency of me like losing track of time, or maybe wondering why I was like not doing anything. So let's go ahead and get this out. Cast. Just speed up the game. We get a card. All right, we'll pass. They are very dead on board. I can't imagine what they could draw here. They're not very dead on board. They're very dead over the next 2 turns. This oracle's fine. It's fine. Okay. Just going to go to Smush. And then I'll just not have 6 through their turn because I need to be able to brainstorm and cast Force Negation and stuff. But we basically just need them to not win this turn, which I don't think they will. And we just need to watch the clock. Got it. Sorry again if I seemed agitated. I was just really disappointed with my deck. All right. And not with the construction of the deck, just like the variants. My opponent plays Boros Energy in Modern, which is a very good deck in Legacy. I'm not sure if it's good in Modern, but I'm going to presume they're probably going to be in their comfort zone. Be playing a similar deck. This is a turn 2 Riddler. We do have Solitude if we need to interact. This doesn't do anything else, but it does have good mana. It's got both colors, which is what we're looking for. Okay, Volk. Preordain. Okay, so this is most likely like a Sneak and Show type deck, but it could also be Delver that's playing Preordain. All right, and they kept 1 top. All right, now we're getting a little too much land. I'm going to play this because it gives the least information. Then we'll pass. Solitude is good if they put in like an Emrakul. We just need a little bit of time to get Phelia on the table. Preordain again. I definitely think they're doing something unfair over there. Because like if they were Delver, they would have led with Delver. Like led with some sort of creature. Yeah, they're doing cantrips. So I think our Phelia is going to arrive a turn too late. And the fact that we're on the draw is probably going to cost us this game. I'm going to fetch in the end step just to thin, which is a real thing. It does have a small statistical effect. But we've drawn so many lands, I don't want to draw anymore. The good news is Phelia will likely resolve. This is where a lot of people might say, oh, if you were playing a Surveil, you could have Surveilled there. And I would agree with that sentiment. But it is nice to not have to worry about Wasteland at all. And not have to worry about keeping a 1-lander that, okay, this is nice because now we have something to pitch to. So we can Phelia and we can pitch Solitude to plow if we need to do something like 2 things this turn cycle. Again, I'm going to stay hopeful. The cynical thing to do is to go ahead and riddle just to get an extra card, trying to desperately find a force. Okay. Wow. Okay. They're just on the world's slowest Delver deck. That is fine with me. So here, I'm not going to expose Phelia to Daze. I'm just going to use my mana efficiently here and plow. And if they fight that is totally fine. Okay, good. All right, so they could have a giant Merc, but I've got that covered. And now they could have double Daze. They could have a Bolt. I think it's fine to just ram out the Tamio here rather than the Phelia. I know that may seem like very sluggish, but there is a world in which maybe we have to pitch Phelia to Solitude. I don't know. This way we avoid double Daze, and this is going to be the Bolt magnet to let Phelia succeed. And they have to respect the fact that we could have the Brainstorm. Right? Another DRC. So I will let DRC connect here. They could make it Delirious. No, they only have 1 card type. They're not going to make it Delirious here. Not without wasting like their own land and doing a bunch of other counterintuitive stuff. And now we drew the Brainstorm, which is great. Okay, they're making the move. You are welcome to Surveil. And we're going to get a perfect Brainstorm. I'll probably just shuffle away the Merc. And if they force, this is okay. It's a 2-for-1. And they'll be so low in resources. They could bolt the second time, but I still get the Brainstorm if they do that. Okay, they are forcing this. That's fine. So they get the Surveil. And they bin a force. This dies. I'm just going to pass. Before I put a spell on the stack, I will fetch just to avoid that Wasteland Daze trick. And now I have a Merc. Okay, I'm not sure why they did that. That doesn't make any sense to me. I guess they just wanted Delirium. Yeah, I guess if that makes sense, as much sense as anything. If they just want to get the clock going, that's fine. So they have 2 cards in hand. They could have another Bolt. Okay, this makes it simpler. So what they have is apparently a Murktide. So let's think about this. They're Murking, which means they don't have an answer to Phelia. Phelia will come in. She will be able to revert their Murk and get an attack through. The other option, if I draw a white card, is to Solitude. Yeah, I'm definitely playing out Phelia here. It's just a question of what I'm blinking. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Their last card would have to be Force or Bolt. If their last card is Bolt, they're in a very good place here. Their last card is Bolt. Unholy Heat. Okay, it's not Bolt. It's something similar, though. Okay, so this is actually pretty precarious because my Murktide's not big enough, and I might need to just Solitude. But if I draw a land, that also answers it. Okay, Force. Yeah. Okay, so options. One, we just put out the smaller Murktide, and that eats this DRC. I think that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll just take all the creatures out. I don't think it really matters. Now we can block this. We have Force up. There's no way I could have, because of my basic lands, there was no way I could have Riddlered and Murked in the same turn cycle. So I'll just take it, and then if we draw a land, we just clean this, and we're very much winning this game. But there is like kind of a precarious situation where we don't find a white card, and we have to chump again. We have to chump. Oh, they're finishing it off with a Bolt. Do I care? I don't think I do. That's fine. Okay. So they're back to Hellbent. Come on, land. All right, perfect. So now I think we just win. Like, I can't imagine how they would come back from this. Well, okay. Here's how they could come back. We're at 6. They could draw two remaining bolts. They could draw those. They could get Cutter going. It's going to be a multi-turn line. Delver's fine. I'm going to start gaining life here, which will negate the benefit of the Delver. I'm just going to go ahead and cast this out. Why not? They don't have anything to do here. So now I've got the Delver blocked. Get an extra card. I've got Force up. Yeah, that was dominant. And I expect this to be a very dominant matchup. I don't expect them to win very much against us. So we'll bring in Prismatic Endings. Take out the Force Negation. We need to cut one more card. It's not clear what that card should be. I like Aang because he pitches to both. Riddler is more of a late game card. I think Tamiyo might be it because they usually do have like an aerial blocker, so it limits the amount of stuff I can do with her. They're also going to have Pyroblasts. I think I'll just take out a Force. Yeah, we'll do that. You don't really need Force against Delver. On the draw, it is nice to have it, though. But with Solitude's basically Force. Because the things we would want to force are just giant creatures, like Murktides. So I definitely think we're favored when we have 8 exile-based removal spells in our deck. This is frustrating because we may not actually find a second land. I'm going to keep it, though. And I'm just going to trust that we're going to find land. So what I'll do is I'll play the land, and I'm not going to make any moves, and then I'll brainstorm later. Do they have the aggressive start? I am thinking about just forcing this. Just pitching a Riddler. I think I'm going to do that. Okay, that worked. That takes a lot of pressure off. That would have done a lot. Okay, and now we have Solitude up. So I'll just wait a turn cycle. And the reason I pitched the Quantum Riddler instead of the land there is, instead of the brainstorm, is I just want to maximize our ability to dig for land if we need to next turn. Okay, this is a slow start over there. They're probably digging for a second threat. They might have a second threat. We can dig. We can Solitude and do other stuff. Interesting. They bin the Borrower. Oh, man. Okay, let's see if we can find a land. Come on, deck. I've got a lot of fetches too. Okay, we did find the fetch. And I think we're fine here. I'm going to keep all the plows. I'll put back Ponder and Brainstorm. Yeah, and we're just going to basically plow our way through every threat they present. The scariest thing for them to present is Cutter itself because it's a lot of threats in one card. Brainstorm. So we don't have to worry about Cutter this turn. With Fabled Passage, you have to be sure to activate in the instep. You can't pass to your upkeep. Like I usually pass to my upkeep and then fetch, but if I do that, then it'll enter tapped. Okay, and they're just feeding a future Murk. Blithely unaware of the sheer volume of white removal we have in our hand. It's a beautiful thing. All right, give me a land. Yes. Now we have Phelia up into days. And then we've got Riddler, which will probably take us home unless they have Pyro. But even if they do, that's still a 1-for-1. Cutter. Unfortunately, I just have to let that resolve. DRC. It's a good card. So I'm going to play the Phelia this turn. And then next turn I will plow And yeah, I would like to remove that from play. If they try to kill my Riddler, I can do that. Okay, and they're done. They've got 4 cards in hand, but they're tapped out. Like they would need to double. They need to either force this or double daze. So Phelia is likely to connect here. Another Solitude is nice. So I'm going to go ahead and go blue. We're going to attempt a Riddle here. Draw trigger. Okay, I'm going to attempt to Plow first because if I can clear this, then I don't have to push this out of the way. But if they are able to daze this, then I can't blink my Riddler. Actually, I'll just Solitude here to get through it. That's fine. It is definitely worth just clearing this so I can keep the Riddler around. I can actually Solitude twice if I needed to, just because then I draw 2 cards instead of 1 card. No, wait. I've already drawn my card from Riddler, but I'll get another one in the end step. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. I will pitch Solitude because it's pretty far away. I might need to do it a second time. I'll pitch the Plow. Okay, there it worked. All right, and this is just devastation, like what we're witnessing here, because I'm going to draw so many cards. They're going to have a cutter active, but like it's extremely unlikely that they can get through my Riddler. And even if they Pyroblast it, like it will have drawn me a lot of cards. And then this will be 3/3. Not quite out of range of Bolt. Okay, we get a card. All right, another Solitude. Not going to complain about that. So they may attack and like try to kill our Riddler. Like Kamikaze our Riddler, or they may have Unholy Heat. Pyroblast is fine. I can just kill one of their monks every single turn with my Phelia if they create another monk, which I presume they'll do here. Okay, that is pretty good because now they have a monk and they've removed my offensive. But they've gone down a lot in cards, and I can still just Plow to clear one of these. But I am going to take 5 here. Okay, and they have another spell, so we're going to... Okay. Luckily, it doesn't trail the prowess. I don't know that I would have played that out. I probably would have held that and played it with something else, but it is yet another thing that does damage to us next turn. All right, don't fail me now, deck. That is a good draw. Okay, so we'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, blue. I can wait till their upkeep and then Plow and see what they reveal. If they have a daze, I don't want it to trigger these. I think it is correct to just Plow this now. And I will Plow this because this is Flyer. And yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay, and they didn't daze it. Okay, so we'll see what they have here, but they are going to have to literally bang up against a wall here. This giant, Murktide, who's really jacked from swimming all the time. Michael Phelps. Okay, this is a good card because this can potentially trigger many times. So I may have to Phelia, or I may have to Solitude here to clear one of these monks to survive, depending on how good this turn is. They may also find another Pyroblast or a... there are lots of ways we could lose from here, unfortunately. I did call out Corey as probably the most threatening card in their deck against white. We just have to stall them out. Like, maybe they find Wasteland or some, random cards that aren't cantrips. They are playing a lot of cantrips, so I fully expect them to have more spells this turn. Okay, there's a Wasteland. I'm happy to see that because that's not a card that triggers prowess. I imagine they do have another thing, though. What is this? Lightning Bolt. They are bolting me. Okay. They get a dude. I am genuinely worried and thinking that maybe now they're Hellbent. I may just need to aim Solitude at their biggest guy just so I can survive this turn cycle. Okay. I'll just hit the one that this is attached to. And then, no, I'll block the biggest one. I want to maximize life saved. Right. And now I'm just going to sadly do this. I just really want to respect my life total. And so I'm taking 2 here. I'm dropping to 7, but they're going down to 1 thing. And I'm not going to be attacking. I need to find another Riddler pretty stat. I'm going to play it out because it gets me closer to Riddler. Okay, let's just pass. And if they draw a Pyroblast, it's pretty bad. Like, I'll be dead very quickly. They can equip the Merc with Corey. Yeah, this is disastrous. And yeah, I could have held the Solitude here, but then I'd be like facing 2 monks and Murktide. Yeah, it's disastrous. I don't even know if I can fetch anymore because I'm going to take... They're going to move it over. And I have to block it too. So that means this gets through. Guaranteed. All right, so What can I even draw here? I think I have to draw like removal for this, obviously. So I take 2, 3. I dropped a 4. Yeah, I'm not going to fetch. I'm just going to see what I draw. That doesn't do it. Good game. Okay, let's go to game 3. Yeah, weird game. Like, Corey's really good against us. We don't have Hydroblast in our sideboard. That would be something you could add if you're worried about this matchup. Wrath of the Skies maybe should come in. Yeah, I think I'll bring it in. I think I'm just going to take Tomio out completely. And that way we don't have to worry about Tomio. We don't have to worry about the clues. Everything in our deck is like high mana value. And also this is additional cards. Dress Down, is that any good? I don't think it is. Oh, Back to Basics could come in. I don't like that though. I mean, yeah, it technically hits their mana base, but I think I'm going to bring the Force in just to survive because that was one thing where if we'd had a Force, we could have potentially disrupted. I'll keep 1 Tomio in. Let's do it. Okay, this is a good hand. Yeah, I'll keep this. And then I can force pitch Murk. You know, if I absolutely need to, I could force pitch something else too. I'll just grab Fabled Passage. I'm not going to have to force something turn 1. And then this goes and gets Island. And then we're kind of off to the races. They're mulling at 6, which we love to see. I think they realize that the way that they're going to win is through Corey. Let's see. I'm pretty sure I would not have won that game even if I'd held the Solitudes. I'm going to go ahead and just fetch now, just out of respect for Stifle. That would be like a crazy thing to get got by. And it would ruin me. Yeah. And now we just don't need to worry about getting blue. It's weird. Like, I'm sure my opponent has never even seen anybody playing this in Legacy. I've never seen anybody playing it in Legacy. I don't think it's a bad card, though, if you're trying to go no reserve list. Okay, they ban a Pyroblast. I'd love to see that, but that probably tells me they already have a Pyroblast in hand. This is a window to attempt a Riddler. I think it's okay. It gets me closer. And if they daze, it's pretty painful because they have to put that completely back in hand. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. They could be looking for another land, and I could just be playing right into their objective here. But this does put a type in the yard or a card in the yard. I just want to get deeper into my deck. They want to trade 1 for 1. That's okay. And now we have something in exile that we can cast later. Phelia is a great rip. It should be able to really tear it up if they get the cutter going. I don't think they have daze. I can't imagine them not dazing that, but maybe it does make sense because they didn't want to bring this back to hand. This is a force. I'm going to force pitching force. And now if they daze this or force back, they at least don't get a trigger for the first turn. And they're tapped out of Pyro, which is great. We're not too far from Murk. Probably like 2 turns. Because next turn I do want to probably Phelia rather than Plow if I can avoid it. Just so I can start disrupting their creature creation. But I don't have anything to blink. Yeah, they're forcing back. That's fine. So Corey will resolve, but they can't get a trigger this turn. All right, 3 cards in the grip over there. Love it. All right, well, I'm just going to chill and Phelia here. They are playing at least 12, like probably 12 cantrips based on what I've seen so far. So it's very likely. They may like bolt me or do something like that to get this out, which would be very good for me. It looks like DRC is their first play. That's fine. And then the cantrip, and then they get the thing. And unless they are able to find a land off this, they're tapped out, which means that I can Phelia and then probably also successfully Riddler. And holding up mana to plow this. This is Delirium though. Yeah, so I'll definitely have to plow this in the upkeep before I attack. I don't think they're going to be actively looking for days at this point with my mana the way it is. They 1 top, 1 bottom. Don't play a land. Don't play a land. Oh, they have a land, so they're probably going to be able to cook my Phelia here. We'll see what they do. Oh, they have the power. Well, they have the bolt. They're just thinking the better of it. Okay, Delver. This is a lot of pressure and a bobble. Okay. The good news is Phelia's probably going to connect here and flip the Riddler. But yeah, because I think they're going to attack with the Monk here. They're Hellbent. They do get a new card off the bobble though. They can also do the bobble trick. Well, they don't have a fetch up, so they can't do the bobble trick to increase the likelihood of finding. Okay, so they're Hellbent. We'll go ahead and come in. We're going to get a lot of cards. We're going to get a flip Riddler here. That might, well, not necessarily. They didn't crack the bobble. I think that was a mistake. Solitude's cool. Let's think about this. So we plow here. We warp in Riddler. We attack. And I'll hold Solitude. I'm close to being able to deploy Murk too. I could have just deployed him this turn, but like, when would it ever be correct to not deploy a Riddler? And this is like the powerful thing that our deck does, this interaction right here. So we could find a land, but I really want to find a white card in the end step. Actually, I won't find a land in time. So I'm just looking for a white card. And then what I will probably do is just plan to kill this. I don't actually know that that's necessary. I think there's a very good chance that they're going to pyro this if they have that. But yeah, we'll see what they have, and we'll see what we get. They're bubbling now. So they're bubbling themselves. I don't think it matters. They should have bubbled me. No. Wait, never mind. They don't need a fetch. They bubble themselves, and then they can just stack the triggers in a way that they can take draw the card before they do that. So they did everything correctly. It's been a while since I played Delver. Actually, I can't say that. I played it like 2 weeks ago. Okay, draw trigger. Okay, that's good. That means that we can get rid of a token with Aang. They reveal a Pyro. I'll be pretty scared because that is a lot of damage inbound. Okay, so they drew first. What is the card that they reveal? Okay, they did flip to Lightning Bolt. Uh-oh. So I think I just trade Riddler for Insectile Aberration. That grows this. Okay. So we know they have a Lightning Bolt. They could target our Phelia, but like I'm pretty sure I just block here and then they bolt. If they screw this up, we could just Solitude this, and then this survives after the bolt. We'll see what they do. So they have to let the damage resolve and let the Delver die first, and then they can bolt. If they try to bolt now, I can interact. Okay. They are smart. Okay, so now they're going to bolt and clear this. Yeah, and that's fine. This does grow the thing, and it creates another guy, but it's too late. He can't attack. They shouldn't move him over. They did move it over, which reduces the amount of damage we take. Okay. Yeah, so that's fine. Yeah, you can create the monk without actually moving it over. Okay, they're going to bubble me now. Okay. All right, so I think what I could do is I could just, I think I'm just going to push one of these, and then I'll just Phelia push the other one. Yeah, I think that's fine. They would have to draw exactly days here. Oh, actually, they could have drawn a lot of things. Is this a Brainstorm? Okay, it is a Brainstorm. That's a pretty good card. Yeah, they could have days, they could have Pyro, they could have lots of stuff that really screws me up here. Is it going to resolve? Stunning. Push that out. Now I'll just attack with Phelia, and I will blink this. That way I get a buff, and this will be buffed out of Bolt's range. Then when it comes back in, it'll just push the other token. Very happy with this sequence. Yeah, I just got lucky. I think it was maybe Cavalier to do what I did there, but it's all working out. And we still have Solitude if we really need to stop something big. DRC's fine. They can equip her and attack if they want. Okay, they get a dude. Now they don't have the mana to equip her. They don't have good attacks yet, but they may find something that gives them a good attack. Something that removes Aang would do that. I am very impressed with this card. This was definitely my favorite card in the Avatar set. If this grows further, that's fine. Okay, so they are going to get a pretty good attack here. All right, I'll just take it. I don't really want to throw away Solitude. They're going to be Hellbent here. Okay, so I can delete this, and they can't block it. And then, let's see what I draw. Fabled Passage is not bad. This actually, now I get it untapped. I think we just Murk. I'm going to go ahead and attack, clear this, and then I'll just Murk. I think that's fine. And then I'm still holding up Solitude if I need it. Like the situation where I would need it would be they have Murktide of their own. Okay, so we should be able to get the planes. And my understanding is so nice not to have to pay life that it just becomes untapped because, yeah, we have that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. Murktide. 1, 2, 4. It's big enough to block the Dragon Rage Chandler. And if they clear this, we can just play another one out. Yeah, I'm liking our position. And next turn, we can just Riddler if we need to. It's so scary. Like they are just ripping cantrips left and right. It is very scary because this definitely represents a lot of spells that they can cast here. But I have to hope that they'll break. At some point, they'll start drawing lands. So this is necessarily going to crash in here if they don't have a Pyroblast. Another Ponder. Okay. This is another look at Pyro. Did they find the Pyro? That sucks. Okay. Well, I'll let them have their Surveil. I guess they're always going to find good stuff because they're like ripping through their deck here. They put a Daze in their graveyard. Okay. So I'm just going to Solitude here. I don't want to take this much damage. I'll wait till they attack and I'll just Solitude this thing. I really wanted to wait for a turn cycle, but yeah, it's all right. So we're low enough that they could bolt us out. We don't have to worry about back to basics, of course. I'm trying to think of other things that like could do us in. That's a good draw, but maybe we find a white card to go with it. Wrath, I don't like that because I don't want to blow up my Phelia here. I'll just take the Solitude. No, I'll take the Wrath. No, I don't even need to draw the Wrath. I'll take the Solitude this turn, and then I can pitch cast if I absolutely need to. Oh, I screwed up. I could lose. Okay, so I will play this out, but I shouldn't have taken that. Cool. So if they just find cantrip and a cantrip, they can win here. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Okay, we got this. All right. So here I'm just going to riddle. Actually, I don't need a riddle. I should probably just hold up Solitude. No, I'll just riddle. And then I can draw 2 here. And now, yeah, I feel pretty safe. Like they could draw a Murktide and equip, but I will have Solitude for that. And I'll probably have another card as well. We'll see if I get another white card. Okay. That was hard fought. We're 2-0. See you in round 3. 2-0 with our sub $1,000 control deck. Okay, round 3 starts. No rest for the Back to Basics deck. All right, opponent most recently on lands. I like that matchup a lot. Yeah, I think that we're just going to destroy lands is my hope. Because with all our basics, like good luck wasting us out of the game. We've got Plow, we've got Solitude to deal with. We've got Dress Down in the sideboard. Yeah, I'm going to keep this. Seems like a fine hand. Doesn't do anything proactive. But our opponent seems to prefer more dirtily decks rather than like explosive decks. But as do I. I'm a dirtly dude. Okay, so here I think the simple thing is just to keep the mystery. Play this out. I'll just go get a plains next turn. I'm not going to ponder. I'm not going to do anything until I have more information. I don't know what I'm looking for. Okay, so they're on a dirtle deck for sure. You wouldn't play Lorien Revealed in a non-control deck. So Beans maybe, which could go over the top of what we're doing here. I'm just going to hold. That's a good draw. So Bug Beans often plays Bowmasters. It plays Stifle. I think it's fine to just chill and play around stuff. I'm going to play this out so that way I can fetch a plains with either of these if they stifle me. They may be playing Stifle. I do want to be able to reliably force, and I'll pitch Ponder. Dragonstorm will be good. Here, we've got kind of a card draw engine. Ponder's fine. So we'll force the Beans. Okay. At this point, I think it's fine taking one more organic draw. Tamio's great. I think we just play her. Test the removal. And at this point, they have every reason to expect us to have a brainstorm. We've seen 10 cards of our deck. And, statistically, you're likely to have one in every 15 cards. Okay, so they're not doing anything here. I'm not going to move. I am very scared because they're very close to just putting Lorien Revealed on top and casting Lorien Revealed. But we might be able to outmaneuver that. I'm going to play a land first. Now I'm going to attack. I have lots of recourse if they try to get into a Bowmaster fight here. All right, so we will go ahead and do this first. They're fetching. Okay. Is this the Bowmasters? Here's a Bowmasters. I will let it enter, and then I will plow it, and I'll fight over the plow. They're pinging it. Okay, that's fine with me. All right, so I'm going to go get a plains here. Do you have a Stifle? Right, I'm going to attempt to plow, this is what, like, control... This is what I love, because there's like so many decisions to be made here. And we're coming out on top, it looks like. Yeah. Fabled Passage. Do I really need more land? Not really. I mean, it is a like pain-free fetch. Yeah, I probably don't need all these ponders, but like not want them? I mean, yeah. I'll put back a ponder, and I don't even know what I'm looking for, frankly. Like, I'm so far ahead now. I'm looking for more forces, I guess. So this fizzles. Well, plus, I could go ahead and Dragonstorm. This is a convenient time to do it, but I am worried about days. I'm going to try it. This might be greedy, but this is a time where we don't have to worry about them Bowmastering. Okay, so we get to draw 2 cards. I will bin the Ponder. That way I have Hardcast Force and Quantum Riddler up. And this feeds the Merc that I can stick next turn. Yeah, I'll do that. I think mana is where I want to be right now. It sounds weird. They could Witherbloom command. I'll force that. They'll probably daze it. This is Witherbloom. So I'll force the Witherbloom, and then they're going to daze. And then we may be low enough in cards that Quantum Riddler draws us 2 cards. Oh, whoa. They accidentally targeted my Roiling Dragonstorm. I was about to force that. I think they saw my life total change, and that's why they scooped. Maybe it was intentional for them to target that, but why wouldn't you target the Tamio? I'll ask them. Okay, yeah. They confirm. It was a misclick. Okay. So against Bug Beans, Wrath of the Skies can clear Beans. It can also clear Carpet of Flowers. Prismatic Ending can clear Beans too. Let's think about what cards are not going to be spectacular here. I don't think we need Solitude that badly, but it can really help out if we get into a fight. Like, this is the ultimate, like, kind of jiu-jitsu type matchup, like where you're just trying to like leverage a whole bunch of different levers, and it's who goes for what first. And this is the highest skill, I think. Like, tempo on tempo is really high skill. Control on control is really high skill too. So I'm very hyped to be in this match right now. I'm very excited. Yeah, I don't think this is a dress down matchup. It can turn off Bowmasters. Back to basics. Yeah, back to basics get in the deck. This is definitely the back to basics matchup. I don't want to trim lands. I could trim lands. They may have Stifle if they're on like a Pokemoki style list. How good is Ong here? The fact that he pitches to Solitude and Force is pretty nice. I think I'm going to take out some Solitudes. And I'm going to bring in another Force negation. No, wait, this is exact. Yeah, I'll just do it like this. All right, and we'll just hope that, like, if we can get them trapped under it, they're probably not going to have recourse. Oh, yeah, this is a freaking snap keep. Yeah, back to basics in hand. Plenty of lands. Mox Diamond. Okay, so they're maybe not on Beans. They're on, like, Bug something. Like, there was a guy named, I think his name was, like, Vito or something like that. Don Vito. Playing like Bug. He had all beta lands, and he had like all his stuff tattooed on his sleeve. Like he had beautiful sleeves, and they were all like Bug creatures, Sultai. He was like Sultai or bust, basically, was how he rolled. I am going to go for the Tamio here. It's a powerful turn 1 play, and hopefully it puts them off balance enough for us to, like, hopefully this encourages them to fetch. We can later, Phelia blink this Mox Diamond if we need to. That's fine. 1 for 1. And they're down to 3 cards because they Mox Diamond and they're on the play. Okay, come on, get non-basics. All right, non-basic number 1. Carpet. Oh no, is this Beans? Badger Mole Cub. That's a cool card. Yeah, I mean, based on this, what? Fetch twice? That's sick. That's so sick. I've never seen Badger Mole Cub with a fetch. Yeah. What are we going to do here? At least this doesn't tap for mana. Yeah, this is a cool deck. Whatever my opponent's up to is really cool. All right, so I think this is just, it's a Phelia. We can block something. They are low resource. Even if they fetch, like, who cares? Like, yeah, I want them to fetch a lot of stuff. This Mox Diamond is giving me grief, though. I don't think they're on days. I'll just play this land out, and I'm going to chill for another turn cycle, and then I'll Phelia in the end step. And they might be able to kill it, but like then I'll just back to basics them. Hopefully that'll do something. Yeah, and if they continue attacking with this, okay, they're not. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to lock that onto the back to basics. Brainstorm, that's fine. Tap as many of those lands as you want to. And this comes back into play tapped. So it won't untap. Come on, tap it. Fetch, you want to fetch. Wasteland is fine. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Hopefully she doesn't die. Okay, so it is going to come back into play tapped. And I think they're just going to push her. Oh, they got the basic. That's not fair. Okay, so this is not bad. They're going to have 2 mana instead of a ton of mana. I am getting a vibe that they could have some pretty disgusting cards in their deck, though. Let's go ahead and grab an island here, and I'm just going to back to basics. I am going to be hit by this, but we're going to hopefully stop their big mana plays. And again, I don't think they're likely going to be able to remove this. They might have something like Force Negation or a Force of Vigor, but why would you put that in? Like, this is the only enchantment in my deck. Okay, so they don't get to use their fetch over until they clear this. So we'll take our 2. What else do you have over there? Yeah, like, I'm worried about Bowmaster here. Oh, I'm not worried about Bowmaster here. So I could just go ahead and brainstorm first. This is really cracked, by the way. I don't even have to pay life. So let's brainstorm first. You can play your Bowmaster that you've been holding there. Great. That checks out. Right. And I think with the number of non-blue cards, this might be a deck that has blue in it, but is not actually a Force of Will deck. I've been encountering a few of those lately. Okay, so we get these. Looking for Murktide. We can Roiling Dragonstorm. I think I could just plow this and ponder too. I don't think I need this land. Ong is really flexible. We could push this out of play. No, it's only creatures. We're not too far from airbending. I do want to plow this. I might wait till they go to combat to plow. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Am I going to shuffle away this Roiling Dragonstorm? Seems like such a waste. Ong is definitely better because he can just push this out of existence and he can block. I'm going to put the ponder back. And now I'm just going to go ahead and they might be playing Stifle. I'm just going to chill. Because they might play something that, like, if they do play a Hogak, I want to plow it. Okay, another land. They're going to go to combat, and I will clear this. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Just protect our life total. Did they force last game? They may have forced something last game. Okay. And I don't know why they didn't attack there. That maybe just respecting Phelia. Because that would have traded with Phelia. Right. I think I do want to get up a land, and then maybe I can cast Ong as well. Wait. What if they have another Bowmaster? Then that would be a really humiliating thing. I can just push the Bowmaster out of the way here. And then they can redeploy. This can get a basic island. Like, we're losing our advantage here. I think we need to... Yeah, I'll just deal with the Bowmaster, but I do want to ponder here. Like, Bowmaster would be by far the best thing they could draw here. Okay, this is great. So what I can do is I'll just Riddler next turn, and I'll go ahead and Ang this turn. Again, I'm sorry. I'm not intentionally saying it like people in the comments don't want me to say it. But, yeah. I think I've actually met people named Ong, and they pronounce it Ong. They don't pronounce it Ang. But that is how the show is pronounced. I'm sorry. I'm doing my best. Okay. And I'm not saying like people in China obviously pronounce this Ong. But I'm saying like American, like overseas Chinese here in the States. Okay. Clear that token. What do you got for us? Paseju. Okay. They've got a lot of mana, but they're all dressed up with nowhere to go, so to speak. I'm going to Riddler, and I'm going to take massive damage if they have it. I'm not going to be scared. I'll just cast him. They said GG's. GG's. Yeah, we're 3-0. Loving it. See you in round 4. All right, round 4. We may be up against a Tainted Pact deck, which is just so exciting. I don't think I've ever played against this, but my opponent has been playing that. This hand is... I don't like the fact that it's a one-lander. It's really frustrating that we keep hitting one-landers, but this is unimpeachable. I'm going to keep it, and we do have a draw. We have a decent chance, like 1 in 3 chance of finding a land. It's not quite 1 in 3. Okay, they're fetching. I like it because it's force, and that might be important if we're up against a Tainted Pact deck. They did trophy with this recently. Inquisition of Kozilek is fine. It's almost certainly going to take my Brainstorm here, but I do have another blue card. And Inquisition of Kozilek is a card in this Tainted Pact list. Let's look at this. So it's all 1-drops, and then you resolve Thassa's Oracle, and then you Tainted Pact with that on the stack, or you just Tainted Pact, get rid of basically everything in your deck. The only thing you have more than one of is a Thassa's Oracle. Okay, they did take the Brainstorm. Come on, land. I'm just going to chill. I don't actually want to fetch a land out of the deck because I want to increase the likelihood of finding a land. Then next turn, I'll fetch and I'll Brainstorm if I need to. Pondering here. They may be on a different type of deck, but I would be so excited if they were on a Tainted Pact deck. I'm too much of a coward to play decks like that. Lutri is another cool card that I just don't have the confidence for. Okay. Drowned Catacombs. I think they are on the Tainted Pact deck. This is unfortunate. I think we do Brainstorm here because we're going to lose the Brainstorm. It's unlikely they have a Daze or a Force because they probably only have 1 copy of each and they're 75. So let's go ahead and Brainstorm here. Okay, so we completely whipped on land. I'm going to put back the Force. I mean, I could basically force them to take a plow. Yeah, I'll put the force on top. These cards are comically bad. Again, we played 19 lands. We got 2 no-landers, which is a 0.3% chance of happening. And so our deck is just like really, really making us work for it. Let's put it that way. And I didn't have to keep a no-lander, but I kept a force, and I'm probably going to need that force. So they know that the force is there, and they'll still play around it, but they weren't able to take it from me. And I mean, how many discard cards could they have, right? We do have the ability. They have to clear their entire pile because we have Solitude. All right, so we'll just pass. And we do have another plow on top, so we could wait. We don't have to Solitude immediately. Okay. We'll just pass. It sucks. Okay, is this Bowmasters? That's fine. I'm just not going to... I'll let them hit me a few times. I don't think I'm going to die to this thing. I just don't want to like use my Solitude and then lose, because if I find a Brainstorm, I'll Solitude, or a Ponder, I'll Solitude. They didn't have a Kaito. I'm not going to go look at their deck in detail, but I feel very confident with this Drowned Catacombs. That's what they're on. They can play like 1 swamp, 1 snow-covered swamp, 1 island, 1 snow-covered island. But basically the whole point is the only thing you have more than one of in the deck is... that is fine. I'll just... I'll definitely take that out. I'm just going to see what I draw first. Okay, Phelia is nice. Well, I don't want to go to discard, so I'm just going to go ahead and use this. And I think it's Ang here. Yeah, because, I mean, Plow will be useful later. I don't need any additional blue cards. And I could do this twice if I really need to get rid of the Baragorf. But I am going to get rid of the Baragorf. I definitely don't want to deal with that. Drowned Catacombs, that is a blast from the past. Back when I used to tinker with formats other than Legacy, I think I played that card at one point. So if they have Kaito, it'll be pretty embarrassing here. But like if they're only playing 1 Kaito, the odds of that are low. Come on, land deck. Come on. All right, we'll chill. We don't have to discard yet since we use a pitch cast spell. Okay. All right, finally. So now I'll just Phelia here. I don't think they know about Phelia. And then I can block this. Let's go ahead and do that. And they may have removal here. But that's fine. Like Phelia is not really going to do anything. If I can clear this, then I can Dragonstorm and then I can blink it with her. And that's really good because I've got lots of stuff in my hand that doesn't really do a lot here, like these Murktides. Murktide will come back to my hand, which will be nice. Cut down. Destroy target creature with power or toughness 5 or less. That is what you have to dig into when you are playing one of each color. That is fine. I'll let it happen. I'm not going to blow my force because I don't want them to combo me out. That'd be embarrassing. I think I'll be able to totally stabilize later. Okay, there's a backup file. I'm just going to replay the previous turn cycle. And I'm still holding up interaction if I need it. I love the art on this cut down card. There can be no mercy, no half measures. When facing Phyrexians, it's kill swiftly or die. They may have like sack interaction and they're just trying to decide whether to use it because it would take comboing off the table probably because they know I have a force. All right. Now we can do stuff. That's fine. This is a sorcery. So again, the fact that they can only play 1 Fatal Push coming back to haunt them here, I don't care about that. I'm not going to force over that. Again, this Force of Will is the reason I kept my original hand. So again, I don't fear a second Bowmasters. I want to get a land drop here. If I find an island, the next turn I can Murk. Okay, we don't have to worry about Hull Breacher if that's in their deck. Oh my goodness, my deck is just not giving me lands. Ouch. Yeah, I mean like, let's see, we got 1, 2, 3. I don't want to bin the Ponder. I don't need the second Murktide. What a pain. All right, deck, come on. We've seen 20 cards in our deck. We're playing a very reasonable, like, I originally was only going to play 18 lands because I was like, they can't even waste us. Why do I need extra lands? Well, variance is the answer to that. Still no land. All right. I guess Phelia will jump in here. I have 8 cards in my hand, so I'm just going to play stinky main deck, main phase Phelia. I don't want to have to go to discard. We still have 7 life. They could have a Murk or something like that, but we do have that covered. I'm not really afraid of anything but them comboing off. Twisted Image. Draw a card. Okay, this is what I'm here for. So that was just like a cantrip, basically. It is good against Phelia, or Tamio, and which is in our deck. So that is a good card. It's just not a card that I would reach for in Legacy if I had any other choice. Like, I would just play a bunch of Fatal Pushes. Tainted Pact. So This is the namesake card in their deck. They can go find a removal spell for it. They only have 2 of these in the deck, right? Like, I'm referencing this exact list because I just want to make sure. I think they have 2 Tainted packs, and so they don't have to worry about flipping. They can get 1 copy of everything. So it is going to be hard for them to find a second. If they're just going to find something that's going to kill my Phelia, that's fine. If they find Thassa's Oracle, they'll also need to have the Cavern of Souls, which I don't see here. Okay. Again, I totally understand if people are like, you're cheating by looking at your opponent's likely list, but like they are playing the same deck over and over, and this is public information. And everybody does this. Everybody that's playing at a high level does this. Okay, so let's go ahead and I think just let them do this. Yeah, I'm just going to let it happen because first of all, I'm interested. I get to see their entire deck basically, which will confirm whether they made any big changes. So the card that they named, they get to choose when they find it. And then we can just stop the spell if it's something that wins the game. So they went right by Thoughtseize, Brainstorm. They have a Brazen Borrower in the deck. Disrupting Shoal. This is a cool card. What does this do? Is this a force effect? Counter target spell if it's mana value X. So you can like counter, I guess, something with Disrupting Shoal. You have to have the exact mana value when you pitch. Okay, the card that they took was Shieldred's Edict. Okay, that's fine. I don't expect to lose. I'm gonna keep the force. This is fine. So they just use one of the most important cards in their deck to find a removal spell for my creature that I don't even really care about. So if I find an island, then I'm just gonna Murk and I'll get this back into my hand and I'll be like golden. Or I could just find another one of these, which I will play out at sorcery speed. Okay, sleight of hand, and they are forcing this. I will allow it. I don't think I'm close to death. And again, I just don't want to die. Like, if they have the second Tainted Pact in hand, I could very easily die. I'll take one more. And I should eventually find a land. I promise I have lands in my deck. This is fine. It's just an additional threat. I'll just Murk, and then I'll play it very carefully from there. They have 2 of these in their deck. They have not exiled one, so the combo is still on the table, but they're hoping to win through aggro. Oh my goodness, come on, deck. Don't do this to me. I'm going to ponder, and I'm just going to try to find... Like, I'll probably have to plow one of these. The force is not the worst. They fluster that? Deal? All right. Yeah, I've got 5. I'm not going to go to discard. I do run the risk of going so low in life that I can't force anymore. This is really embarrassing. Okay, so I'm just going to plow the one that has stats. Because again, we can be confident that there isn't a second Bowmaster in the deck. I might actually force if they have... I think I'm actually going to force this. Crazy that I'm forcing a Spell Pierce on a Thassa's Oracle, but this is where we are in the game. Let's pitch Brainstorm. I know that Brainstorm could be used to find a land here. I can Riddler, and I'll have a few turns. So I'm going to go to 3. That they might try to combo now, and they might kill themselves if they think that they can win through combo. This is the other Thassa's Oracle. So the combo is no longer on the table. I'm just going to go ahead and Riddle here. And then, I'll Riddle next turn. I can definitely cast that, and I'll get 2 cards. And hopefully one of them will be Solitude. Like something I can pitch cast to Solitude. And then I'll just win with 2 life. I'm not losing this game. I am not going to lose this game. Come on, deck. Show me a freaking land. That Vista actually hurts me. That Vista puts me at 1. I'll play it out, and then I'll Riddle, and then I'll draw the Solitude, and I'll Solitude the freaking Orc Army. Oh my goodness, I can't believe this game is happening the way it is. Yeah, I get 2 cards. Okay, assuming this works. No, wait, actually, I have to freaking fetch. I have to fetch the 1, and then I'm dead. I punted. I'll Solitude next turn, I guess. Okay. I'm going to be at 1 for the rest of the game. No, I can't even fetch it. Yeah, I can Riddle next turn and then Solitude it. They've got 17 cards in their deck. Like, literally, like a Lana War Elf would be my death knell here. I can't believe this game has happened the way it has. I feel so dumb. I never should have kept a 1-lander. Okay, fetch. Please don't have any action at all. Okay. All right. So first, I'm going to take this off the table. If you have a counter spell for this, you win the game. I will pay 2 cards to take care of your 1/1. That's got me in check. Now I will draw 2 cards. Probably a bunch of fetch lands that I can't use anymore. Okay, I mean, I could riddle. I'm just going to chill and hope that they don't have a way that they can deal 1 direct damage. And hopefully... Okay, they bricked. Most likely, that's a brick at this point in the game. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. I'll play the land out. I'm going to just riddle. I'm just going to keep riddling. I get 2 cards. Okay, and I can riddle again next turn and just keep riddling until I can eventually cast one and then win with it. I could theoretically brainstorm into... Okay, they're just going to fetch Surveil probably here. No? They went 4-3 with this deck at a major event. Okay, that makes me feel a little safer. I'll play this out. There's nothing I could brainstorm into. I'm just going to go ahead and riddle again. And then I have plow up. I could plow. I think I'm going to plow this with the trigger on the stack. That way I get some life and I get an extra card. And then I can fetch. Oh no, but I don't get an extra card because it won't be in play. Disrupt. Counter target instant or sorcery unless it's... Okay, well, I will pay 1. Yeah, I do want that life. Just as an insurance policy. That's a cool card. I haven't seen that. And I love the art. It reminds me of that bad guy from Bloodborne. Okay, so we gain 5 life. We draw a card. All right, I can fetch an island now and just ponder for momentum. I think I do that. Okay, these are fine. I will take the Solitude now. And then next turn, I should be able to Riddler and I'll have Solitude up after that. So they basically have to kill me this turn. And then I start riddling every turn. I have a land. Okay, and now I'm just going to riddle. And I will draw a land, I believe, which I can then play. Yeah. And from here, I think we're probably okay. That was just touch and go, to say the least. I can always hit my own... Yeah, that's fine. Did they use both the oracles? I think they did. So they can't win even if they get all the way to the bottom of their pile. Yeah. Yeah. Because one's in the graveyard, one's in exile. So I just don't think they have a... what is this? Destroy target creature. It has the least power tied. Okay. Yeah. Technically it does. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Wretched Banquet. Getting to see all the classic removal cards. Yeah, I'll just take a natural draw here. Okay, that's fine. I'll play that out. I'll just play this out. Sure. I'll keep up since I have a brainstorm. We get a card. Okay, planes for next turn. We still have 1 planes we can fetch if we need to. I think their deck is probably very strong when it's doing its combo, but the fact that we had... Yeah, this is fine. So they have 4 cards in hand. They could have a removal spell here. Tamio is fine. I think I just cast this, and then I can use Ong to do something with it. If they start to... Yeah, I'll cast, and then if they do something to disrupt, I can potentially Ang this spell out. Okay, so they gain a bunch of life. Now I can come in for a hit, and I still have Ang up, and I still have planes in my deck that I can go get. And I'll just hold the Tamio. I don't think she's going to be a part of this game. Plague Engineer. That doesn't affect me at all. Okay, chosen type is Elemental, which shrinks our Solitude. I think I just push it out of the way, just for momentum. Oh, I could just push this out of the way, and then I could just replay it for 2. I think that's fine. That clears this. Yeah, we'll just do that. And then I'll have an extra body to hasten their demise. I do need to watch my time. I love this interaction with Aang. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and pay 2. Let's go ahead and Solitude here. Let's clear this. They have to be running pretty low on threats over there. Go ahead and attack. And I'll just pass, I guess. I mean, I probably should use the Ponder because we don't have to worry about Bowmaster. Yeah, that's fine. I might be able to find another Solitude, which would be pretty nice. Plow is fine. I actually think Force is the card we take, and then we can get the Plow if we need it. I think we've got all the bases covered. And because my clock is so low, my opponent is probably correct to just make me kill them. Dread on the lock. That's fine. I don't care. I'll just gain some life. I'll just pass. Like they're going to deck themselves before I kill them. I could just start passing every turn, but I want to keep gaining life just in case. Don't have to play land. I'll just keep attacking and passing. Okay, and I've gained enough life that I'm just going to let them deck themselves for speed. I can't F6 through my turn. They could have like something that shuffles their deck back into their library, and I look pretty dumb for just discarding stuff, but I do have one land left to fetch if I want to go get it. 2 cards left. Okay, yet another interesting blue-black land. Okay, just 2 more turn cycles of this. And I do think it was correct to just not attack them and let them deck themselves. And I practically decked myself. I've got 10 cards left, but yeah, that worked. Okay, so 10 minutes. Back to basics seems pretty good here. Force negation stops them explosively winning the game. Dress down stops it as well. So I think those come in. We can shave a land on the draw. I know that game was defined by us not finding land, but that is something you can do with this deck. You can shave lands on the draw. They might have a single Wasteland, but they're not going to have more than one. Murktide is fine because he can end the game quickly, which we kind of want to do. Prismatic Ending is... I don't think we need it. I do want the creature removal. I'm trying to think of what to take out. I mean, my instinct is to take out Force Negation because we just need to stop the actual card. And like everything they do is in support of resolving the Phelia or the Thassa's Oracle. They do have a lot of removal for Tamio. We could trim some of her. I don't really want to trim Murk since it does trigger Roiling Dragonstorm. I'm trying to think about what they might bring in. Their sideboard is just a bunch of powerful one-offs. As you can imagine. And I will say their archetype's going to get better and better the more cards they get printed because they'll have just more variety of removal, more variety of threats, more variety of lands. I do want back to basics. They probably have 4 fetchables in the deck. Do I need this? I don't actually think I need this. Yeah, I think I just cut it. And the reason is like they're probably going to try to explosively win. So maybe that was an argument for keeping the Force Negation in. Oh, this is the same freaking hand I got last time, but it has a Tamio in it. I'm going to keep it. And now we're trying to 17 lands instead of 18. So again, call me out in the comments for being a dum-dum when I don't find mana, but statistically it shouldn't be that bad. And I've got a Tamio and I've got the Force. Come on, land. All right, back up Tamio. She will avenge her fallen sister, who will most certainly fall. Yep, minor misstep. Douthie. I'll let that go. I don't really care that much about my graveyard. If we break on land enough, it could become an issue. We got the Tamio in. Tamio will shrink the size of this, making it harder for them to kill us. Take 3. Brainstorm. Lorien Cycle. They've got an island. Yeah, I don't think Back to Basics would have been particularly compelling here. Well, looks like we're just dirtling. We're not doing anything. And again, like, not sure what's going on with their draws here. I didn't want to mulligan a Force of Will hand against a combo deck. Like, call me old-fashioned, but that's generally like you want to have Force of Will against a combo deck. And we've got 4 of them, so only 40% of our hands are going to have a Force of Will deck. All right, there we go. I think we're fine now. So I think it's fine to just wait and Phelia during their turn. We also have the option of just plowing. We can plow around a lot of their soft permission. I just don't want to take too much damage because that is a way I can lose. And they do have misdirection. I think, sadly, that this is so good that I do need to force this. And that does put a force in the void. Misdirection is a cool card. I don't think we need Tamio anymore. We've got plenty of clues to crack. I'll pitch her, and I'll keep the more interesting cards. We'll dispute. Okay, well, they're going to kill my chick and forces in the void, and they've got that. So they can use this to force through their combo now. That was very powerful. I take 3 damage. Let's just chill, and we'll Phelia instep, or crack a clue, or dress down if they try to combo us. We still have some options here. Need a Pact. I think we just dress down the thing. I think but they'll have freaking force up on this. So I guess the question, I want to set stop here. Oh, it's too late. It's too late. So if they make the mistake, they do have the force in exile here. Wait, they do, right? Okay, they just made a huge mistake if they're attacking me. So I'm going to set a stop and block. What was the card they got off Tainted Pact, by the way? I didn't see. They didn't do the whole thing. They kept it Tamio. Interesting. This is fine. I'll let them hit me, and then I can just Phelia in the instep. Yeah. Okay. For some reason, I thought I was going to have to deal with the combo, but they decided to stop halfway through. Okay, let's go ahead and if they try to flip her, okay, they're not flipping her. I'm going to go ahead and Phelia here. They're down to one card. We do have to clear this. So Ang pushes it out of the way. I think we just riddle here and try to find, yeah, like I think that's a pretty easy decision to be made here. Okay, so we get our first draw. That's a plow. Let's go to combat, and then I'll just plow the Douthie, and then I don't really care about Tamio. I'm not too threatened by her because I've got like lots of pressure. Okay. And I want to do this in end step. That's fine if I don't do damage because I want to draw the card first in case I draw a force. Okay. The warp trigger is going to happen, but like it's a different instance of the creature. Okay. Solitude is nice. All right. I'm going to go ahead and plow this now. They're fetching. They may have a stifle. I do have another way to clear this if they stop this. Force negation, hard cast. It's okay. I think I do want to solitude this thing. I just don't want to take more damage. I'm pretty low. I could have waited and done more, but oh yeah, they're hellbent, so this will work. Okay, they've got tons of life. I've got 7 minutes. I'm well ahead in this game. They're hellbent. They have a Tamio who can immediately start drawing, but unless it draws like the combo and they're able to immediately combo, I don't think I need to worry too much. You know, yeah, they can ram this right into my Riddler, which I'm happy about. They are cracking the clue immediately. Okay, we got it. That was kind of touch and go just because the mana situation, but I see I'm going to play. We 2-0'd it. We are 4-0. See you in the final round, the trophy round. Final round. We're 4-0. This is the one for the glory. We got a good hand. I'm going to keep this, and we're on the play too. Freaking dynamite. Opponent is probably on Beans. They did pretty well with Beans recently. I'm not scared of Beans. It's a control deck like ours, but like we can definitely bring it back to basics and try to rock them with that. We'll see what they're on because they change around a lot, but that was like just 2 days ago they were on Beans. Okay. And because they could be on Stifle, I think it's totally fine to just play this out and chill, and that wastes this mana, air quotes, wastes. Yeah. And then I'll just end step Phelia, and then we'll try to go to Riddler Town. High likelihood that they have some interaction though. Okay, Trop. Don't do it. Don't do it. All right, let's go ahead and I'm going to let it resolve because Riddler is going to be bigger, but I do want to get my Phelia in. I think it'd be a mistake to like brainstorm desperately looking for an answer here. But if they have to force my Phelia, they'll have to do it beforehand and they're tapped out. So they're not going to have access to Snuff Out, or they might have Solitude, but that's like basically the only way they can stop me. They could force the Riddler. All right, so you've got a draw trigger. Okay, and now I kind of want to brainstorm first just to really try to get this Riddler to resolve. Ow. Let's think about this. If Riddler resolves, it's huge, but they've got 7 cards in their grip, and they're going to get an extra card, and they also play Daze. So I think I'm going to brainstorm here. The other play that's more conservative is I just Tamio, and then I blink her, and this grows. But I think there's a high likelihood that they'll have like a plow or something. I think I'm just going to go for it and make them have it. And it'll be tragic if I miss my land drop and they just force it and get a card off it too. It looks like that's probably what's going to happen. Yep, the life total changes. They get their card. That sucks. That sucks. But like, I didn't want to just like get a land and then get dazed. Call me a coward. And also like our deck has not been cooperating. I know that's not how statistics works, that like we still have the same odds of getting a land, but psychologically it just feels like our deck never gives us the land we want. And I didn't want to like just whiff and not be able to do that play. The card they pitched there was a Brainstorm. I think they're going to get a Tundra here and we're going to lose our Phelia, and along with it, most of our hope of winning. We don't have a main deck way of dealing with Beans. Yep, that sucks. That really sucks. Maybe I played it wrong. I am fully willing to accept that I played it wrong. So I'm going to ponder first for a land. This is the higher likelihood of finding a land. My hand is fine. Okay, this is actually pretty good because we could just put a Riddler in Warp. I think it's better to Tamio, but then she's vulnerable next turn and she gives us 0 value. I'd like to at least to be able to maybe flip her. So I think I just Riddler this turn. And Murk may be a decent threat here, but we actually don't have anything. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and do this and just get farther in to my deck. If they daze here or interact in any way, it's good with me. Looks like they're going to dress down. Yeah, so they'll just plow it next turn and I don't get a card. Okay. But I do get some life, I guess. Oh, it warps out anyway. Never mind. Because the warp trigger is not related. It's like a cast thing. So they just denied me a draw. They're playing very well. I don't know that I'm playing correctly. I do think that maybe I should have pondered. I would have hit a land had I pondered, and then I would have probably been one land drop ahead, and then I might have been able to Tamio plus hold up Brainstorm the previous turn. That's fine. Okay, what are we doing here? Another Beans is probably GG, sadly. They've got 5 cards in hand, a double Beanstalk. They probably have Leyline Binding at this point. They need 3 mana to cast it, but it's not that big a deal. Okay, so there's a Riddler. I'm just going to play this out and pass, I guess, with Plow Up for their Murktide. I have a Murktide of my own coming. They may get jumpy with this. They don't. I don't believe they have Bowmasters in their deck. I think they're on a responsible Bant build. I'll just chill, and then I'll Brainstorm, and then maybe they force the Brainstorm. Yeah, so I'll just Brainstorm now and save this if they don't want to force it. If they want to force it, that's fine. They can just exile it all the same next turn. There's a chance that we probably do want the other Tamio. Murktide can go back. He's just going to get freaking, like, he's not going to give me any card advantage, unfortunately. I'll just go like that. Okay. This flips. All right. And because of the end step, we don't get to plus it, but that's fine. Okay. This is Leyline Binding, drawing them cards, exiling our chick. They did have to use 2 cards, but they got 3 cards anyway. So, like, I don't think card advantage is their problem right here. I could just concede for time, but there is like some extremely unlikely scenario in which I'm able to claw my way out of this. Like, I do have a lot of card advantage in my deck. I do have a Riddler that I can start warping Riddlers out and just making them have it every turn pretty soon. So I'll play this out and I'll just chill again. And eventually they will run out of stack, removal, because I've just got so many must remove spells. They've already used 2, 3 removal spells. They're going to fetch. They're going to get their, probably the, yeah. Okay, Phelia, that's fine. I can just plow her. I'm going to plow her now before they untap so they don't get access to Hardcast Force. But, like, I mean, they're probably just going to regular Force. Okay, we got it. Now we don't have an answer to Murk, but we'll deal with that later. Okay, they're fetching. Now they have Xander's Lounge. Okay. They're going to go for it. All right, they get 2 cards. And then I'm going to Brainstorm to try to save this after they've targeted it. And that'll probably just get countered. But we can try. They do have something they're going to bind again. That's fine. They get their cards. They're running out of removal and they don't have a win con. And there's always a world in which I somehow manage to like deck them or something. I don't think that's likely. Okay, so I can start sticking. I think I just stick a Murktide here. And then if that fails the following turn, actually I can get a blue source. So I'll just shuffle away this Prismatic Vista that does damage to me in favor of Fabled Passage. But like, I do kind of want the land, but I feel like I should just mark and then Riddler. Let's see. If I put back the land, then I can, yeah, I'm actually going to put back the Ponder. That might sound weird, but yeah, I'll draw the extra land, because that allows me to start doing stuff next turn. So I'm going to go fetch, and I'll just get a island here. And then I'm going to attempt a Murk, which is almost certainly going to get countered. Then I'll be like near Hellbent enough that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll just make it reasonably sized. And then I can just warp Riddler and get 2 cards. We get 2 cards. Okay, Solitude is yet another thing that just answers their threats. So again, I'm counting on us just like running them out of removal eventually. Because they've already used 5 of their 8 removal spells, most likely. Okay, 5 mana in the pool. They're going to cast a Riddler of their own. They're going to draw a ton of cards. I can just Solitude this next turn. And it's fine if they want to keep drawing cards. I do think that decking them is a viable path forward. Caracas, that doesn't affect me. If they give me a bunch of life, that's actually fine. I'm not trying to kill them anymore. I'm just going after their deck points, if that makes sense. Okay, Riddler is fine. I'm going to just go ahead and fetch. All my fetches can get all my lands. It doesn't really matter. I am going to get a White Force, and I'm going to attempt a Solitude. I'll just do this now, again, while they're tapped out a Hardcast Force. I think that makes sense. Okay, and we'll just clear this. And we've got a lifelinking threat, and the clock is the other thing, but I'm even slower than my Beanstalk opponent, unfortunately, so I don't know the clock will work. I could just F6 through their turn. I actually think that's fine. So we're going to try to attack here. They could have Phelia. And they could block bounce. I will do this. Wow, we actually connected. That's good. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is I think I Riddler. No, I'll Riddler from hand because then I get 2 cards. That seems correct. And then I could just start bringing these out later. Okay, they're gonna do something here. Hardcast Force. If they Hardcast Force, I will force and negate it just to try to like ram this through rather. Okay, so I'm going to do this with the triggers on the stack. And they're starting to run out of forces too, but they do have the ability to put a force on top, probably. Okay, so we get 2 cards. They've got way fewer cards in their deck than I do. Okay, they're forcing a second time. Okay. All right, they have it. I get 0 cards, but I'll get 2 cards next turn when I riddle. Assuming there is a next turn, which there will almost certainly be. They're probably just going to try to murk me here. They've already used one of their murks, I believe. I'm just not sure how many win cons they have left and how many removal spells they have left. This is probably another Riddler, which draws them even more cards, and it's fine. They're down to 21 cards now. I will fetch a land out of my deck just to thin. They have 10 cards in hand. Oh, sure. You can start doing that. Get further into your deck. Again, I feel like I'm going to draw enough removal that like they'll run out of counter magic, but I could lose. It's certainly viable. Like they're way ahead in terms of raw cards, but they're going to have to go to discard here. All right, so let's just draw. Phelia is fine. I can't Phelia and Riddle in the same turn cycle. I'm just going to Riddle first. And this will almost certainly get countered, but that does draw them 2 more cards. Okay, so I didn't get countered. That's nice. Okay, and Roiling Dragonstorm doesn't do anything here. I don't have good attacks. I'll just chill. Yeah, Phelia is pretty terrible here, actually, because it just gets bounced out of play. Their own Phelia is fine. They can start blinking our stuff. But, like, I'll just block Phelia if she comes at me. Ponder. I am just going to F6 at this point. Like, I do think Clock is viable, because their deck is even dirtier than mine. They may be playing Endurance. If so, then they're totally going to win this game. Okay, they are attacking. Okay, they're attacking with Phelia as well. They might want to blink one of the Leyline Bindings that's not in play. That is fine. I'm going to go to block. And I'll just block here. And then they have to Crocus it back to hand. That's fine. This is all stuff that is eating up their clock. They are going to drop lower in time than me. If this comes in, yoinks my creature. They can redeploy Phelia. They can win. It'll just take them a while. Okay, Fabled Passage. So now I can Dragonstorm here. I'm just going to go ahead and get these lands out of my deck. I don't really care. I'm just going to do this first. I'll just bin the Phelia. She's never going to be good here. My opponent's reading the card. They are choosing to counter it, it looks like. With Force Negation, maybe. I will allow it. I'm going to go ahead and do this again. If my opponent gets too creative with their Crocus, I'll just bin this land. I actually don't have that many lands left in my deck. I'm going to go ahead and Brainstorm here. Okay. I can just Roiling Dragonstorm again. I think that's fine. And then I'll just discard one of those Phelias. And again, this is just, it's not really accomplishing anything, but it's getting deeper into our deck. Are they going to counter this too? If we have to draw those Phelias, it is a drag. Okay, they dazed. Interesting. So they do have a daze in their deck. Okay, we'll just pass. There's Phelia. I'm not sure how quickly they can kill me at 28, but I'm just going to try to run their clock down. I don't think we're going to win anymore. Best draws in deck are probably like Solitude and stuff, just because they buy us time. And I'm not planning to clock my opponent. I'm just trying to like restrict the amount of time they have for decision making, because that's like the control mirror is very computationally intensive. Okay. I got my creature back here. I could have blocked there. Okay, yeah, I could have blocked Phelia there. That was a kind of a punt. I don't think it's super consequential. Let's try this. Wait, one. Oh, I have one more. Oh, yeah. I'll go ahead and do it like that. And this will probably get countered. Okay, it's in. Yeah, I actually should have flashed a Phelia in there. That was a punt. I'll just do it during their upkeep, I guess. I'm just wasting time, basically. I'm actually using... they're going down in time, but okay, now we F6. And they're just going to bounce her probably before attacks. Another Beanstalk. You're crazy, friend. You are crazy playing Beanstalks out at this point. You're going to draw off Uro. You're going to draw when you remove my stuff. Okay, Prismatic Ending. You could have just Caracased it. What is Phelia going to target here? Okay, that's not lethal. That's getting closer, though. So I get my guy back, and I get to draw. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and do this, and then I'll force. Let's go ahead and hit the one creature that I can hit that doesn't just get, bounced by Caracas. Now I will go ahead and just play this for expedience sake. No, I'll play it in the upkeep again. And I'm just going to turtle up. Murk would be good still at this point in the game. We're not necessarily dead. 5 mana. That's going to triple trigger the Beanstalk for Riddler. I'll let it resolve. Again, I'm just hoping that we can get into some sort of fight where I can deck them. But again, they may just have Endurance in their hand for all I know. They do have the green. They're down to 6 cards. Leyline Binding, they draw 3 cards. I think there's a high likelihood that this is the stand, and then I can just F6 from here. Okay, they're going to Brainstorm. They're going to 1 card. Oh, I think they might die here if they're brainstorming. Because they've got 3 draws on the stack. No, they put 5 cards back. They have to win pretty quickly, though. Okay, so I stopped that so I can block. So I'll just block Uro here, depending on what they warp out. They've used a lot of clock here, too. They had to draw for this. I mean, they're so close to dead if I can survive. They bounce Phelia. Okay. They warped that out. So I'll just block here. Survive. Wait, if I block Phelia, I survive 2. I think I blocked Phelia here. They are tapped out, so she dies. And then Uro attacks next turn and they die. Okay, this comes back. All right. Oh, this was so good. So I'll just deploy 2 different threats next turn. 2 different blockers. Phelia's coming back. That's fine. They actually don't have the mana to redeploy her if I get her out of play. I'm going to wait and just do sneaky stuff during combat. Insane. Insane. Yeah, they died from their Uro. They shouldn't have attacked with their Uro. But I don't think they had a choice. I didn't even have to use the cards in hand. And now they're really down on clock. They're down 2 or 3 minutes. So that worked out great. Back to basics, get in the deck. I think this is... Wrath of the Skies is pretty damn good against their deck. They're probably going to have Carpet, maybe. Maybe Carpet. Prismatic Ending's okay. Oh, man. Dress Town doesn't do a lot. Man, that was computationally intensive. That is freaking magic. That Caracas was driving me crazy, but I do want a high roll. I actually don't think we bring in Wrath because they're not playing Tamio. They're playing a Tamio-less version, which it has become fashionable. I am not convinced it's correct, but you only need so much card draw. Obviously, my opponent drew all the cards. So, Force Negation is tempting on the draw. Because we stop the beans, we really wreck them. And I do need to be able to defend back to basics from a Leyline Binding. Is it correct to just bring in all the Force Negations here? I like the Plow a lot, but almost everything we would hit is expensive stuff. I think we take out the Solitudes. We could take out the Solitudes and keep the Plows. I'm going to do that. I don't worry about my life total. Solitude isn't for this matchup. And then I can just bring in another Force Negation. And then we still do have both Aang and Plow to deal with their creatures. And we still have our card draw engines. Yeah, I'm going to do this. I mean, I'd like to even bring in the 4th Force Negation in this matchup. I don't want to cut too low on Plow because they do have Phelia. I need to be able to clear that. Okay. So I'm just going to be mindful of Phelia. Yeah, they're down 2 minutes on me, which... Oh, they're giving me this hand again. Gosh, this is a good hand. But I gotta do better than this. Come on, deck. Okay, this is way better. I'm so glad I'm mulliganed. So I will put back Vista. So we don't have stack interaction if they just come up strong, unfortunately. Okay, and carpet would invalidate back to basics for sure. Okay, we got land here. I'm going to play the Phelia or the Tamio just as bait. I don't really care whether she survives. My opponent is F6ing through the turn. They are also concerned about time. Okay, and they're just going to plow. It's fine. It's a 1-for-1. That is a plow not aimed at Phelia, which is much more important here. Okay, they're brainstorming. Gosh, this is a rush. What a way to end a league. This has been such a cool league. Carpet. That basically invalidates my back to basics, so I'll just pitch it probably. I'll be grabbing planes here. I think I'm just going to go ahead and riddle while the Riddlin's good. And don't take Riddlin unless you have a prescription. Let's go ahead and do this. We get a card. It's a good card. So now back to basics is stapled to this force. I could trim their mana down to 1. If they start jamming more, what is this? That's a force. I feel pretty confident that back to basics is out the window here. I don't have a way to clear the carpet. If they have like a pierce or a daze, it's pretty embarrassing. Yeah, they're in. Okay, this might be a short game, unfortunately. Wait, what happened? They forced their own force. They forced their own force. Or they forced their own beans. That's happened twice to me in the last 24 hours. It's crazy. I did it to somebody and then they did it to me and now they've done it to me again. We got the GGs. Crazy G1. All right. I'm going to wait for it to appear before I shout. It's going to sound so forced. Trophy. My goodness. I do that because in soccer, they're always like, goal. Like they got the announcer who just says it as long and as loud as possible. Like I love doing that. Oh my goodness. Trophy. Let's take a look at the deck. So first of all, this is my personal account. I could actually get some ticks. I spent all my ticks on freaking Quantum Riddlers for my personal account. I know, creator problems, right? But this has been worth it. I love this deck. Okay, so this is obligatory speech. A lot of people told me you couldn't just play basic lands. You actually had to play, surveil lands. You actually had to play like a shock land at the very least. You actually had to play duels, but no, you don't play duels because there's no reserve list land. Oh my goodness. Fabled Passage was quite good. I was pretty impressed with it. Like there were some awkward situations, but the biggest challenge with this deck and with any 2-colored no reserve list deck is always that, okay, you've only got 8 fetches that get your colors and you want to be able to play a lot of blue. And sometimes you just don't find the other color. Well, with this, Fabled Passage is way better than Ash Barrens, which I tried. The fact that it's free and you don't have to, technically the other one's a tap, but you might have Ash Barrens and not have a second land. And my goodness, did our deck like to starve us of land this match, this league. But we persevered. We did the super awkward, turn 10 and still on 1 land game against the, man, I'm so happy that we beat the bigger control deck in the end. Granted, they helped us by forcing their own beans, but gosh, this deck feels great. Tony the Tiger, great. Any other thoughts? Aang. Sorry. Again, I'm sorry. Avatar fans out there. Aang was fine. He was called Ong in the movie because the movie actually did their research. But I know people will just say, what movie? Because it was so terrible. I heard it was like an atrocious movie. And I haven't watched the show yet. People are telling me to watch the show with my kids. I might watch it. I'm not a huge Universes Beyond stan, but part of me, I know this is going to make me sound dirty, but I did grow up on turtles, man. I had ninja nets, crunchy ninja nets and marshmallow nunchucks and stuff. I don't think it was just the turtle heads. And then you got the ninja nets. I think there was a shuriken in there. But it was basically Lucky Charms, but with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And that was my favorite cereal of all time. I would just eat that every day if it was still here and I'd be very fat. But luckily I've figured out how to stop eating sugary cereal and I'm reasonably thin. I'm excited about the TMT. The pizza lands are a little bit gross, but sure, we'll see what happens. The fact that there is recorded pronunciation of this means that I have to modulate my pronunciation and it's driving me crazy. I just want to say Ong. I want to say Ong, which is how you say it in Chinese, right? Because it's a Chinese character. Anyway, I'm sorry. You don't want to hear my pedantry. You want to hear my celebration speech. Well, Phelia plus Riddler. Insane. Roiling's Dragonstorm didn't really ever get bounced through our hand with Murktide. In fact, Murktide underperformed, frankly. You could definitely cut it. What would you bring in if you were to take out the dragons and you were just going to double on? Well, frankly, you'd probably play stoneblade. I think that's an option. So I will be right back, like instantaneously, with what I would do if I were to turn this into a stoneblade deck, which might be better. But Murktide is a hell of a threat. It didn't show up in this league, really. I don't know if we ever killed anybody with it. I can't remember because I recorded half of it last night and then I recorded half of it this morning. But Murktide is a good card. Okay, so what would a stoneblade list look like? Because that's the obvious thing that you put. The main reason I have the Roiling Dragonstorm in the deck is it's something you can blink with Phelia. Phelia really sucks if she doesn't have anything to blink. She's pretty terrible. Like, she doesn't grow, she doesn't do anything, and she's just a grizzly bear, essentially, that can potentially exile a construct or an orc army. But so I put this in here, but like I will say this deck is super vulnerable to Bowmasters, and we did navigate Bowmasters a couple times, but that is definitely a threat. So let me tell you what it would look like. First of all, I did get to update my deck list on Moxfield to 5-0 blue-white Phelia Dragons, no reserve list, and I just set it to public, so that'll be live when you click the deck link. But I will duplicate this. It's not an ad for Moxfield, but I do use it like everybody else does. They do not sponsor me. I just have been very lazy about reaching out to really anybody about sponsorships. If you want to sponsor me, reach out to me. I am interested in potentially doing it for the right price. I don't want to like tip my hand too much. Okay, so Phelia Stoneblade. And I don't get to put the 5-0 in front yet. And I'll put no reserve list. Yeah, so I'll build this and then I'll show you in the UI. All right, and here we go. It's a thing of beauty, actually, because we dramatically increase our white count, which makes our solitudes better. We do decrease our blue count a little bit, though, and that is, not great. But Stoneforged Mystic fits really nicely into this archetype. It's just like another way to get value and get ahead. I'm not a Caldera fan right now because of Kozilek's Command. A lot of people are playing Dismember. Obviously, Brazen Borrower is still out there. I do like playing 2 Ang just because he pitches to both Solitude and to Force. We still have the Phelia plus Riddler combo, but Phelia can also blink, of course, the Meteor Sword. This is a real reason to be playing Stoneblade right now. And then I've also got Cryptic Code in here, so I can tutor for a blue card to pitch to Force. I can tutor for a white card to pitch to Solitude. Pre-War Firmware, in my humble opinion, is the greatest equipment ever printed. It's just insane. So strong. And like, even if they're playing exile-based removal, there's a good chance they're going to kill a Tamio who's in Planeswalker form, or they're going to kill a Phelia on the stack, like force it or something. And we're very likely going to have a creature we can bring back. This actually has a lot of creatures. It can't get Solitude back because there's a limit of mana value 3 or less, but it can get Ang back. And I just want to play 2 Angs. So I think there's 24 blue. Let me double check. This is 23 blue cards and I think 19 white. Yeah. If you include Ang for both. And we still got the 19 lands. We're still playing Fabled Passage. Man, I'm probably never going to move away from my Bill and Ted motif on this. Like, I don't want to change my profile image, but like, if I can be the guy who made Fabled Passage like a legacy playable card, like that would be such an honor. Like, I'm going to try my best because I love the art on this card. It's cheap. It's super cheap. It's like way cheaper than Prismatic Vista, but you should still put for Prismatic Vista into your deck before you start reaching for the Fabled Passages. But like, I would love for this to be a thing. Like, I've always felt Surveil lands are kind of overrated, and I feel like people just jam them in their deck without really thinking about it. And I mean, how many Wastelands did our opponents play against us that did literally nothing against our deck? It was beautiful. So I am going to play another league with this exact version. The only changes I made, I moved the Force Negation out of the main and into the side. Part of that is just because now I think we're going to be more proactive. We're not waiting around. So we could, in theory, like kill somebody out of nowhere with Stoneforge into, like Meteor Sword with Phelia and just start, annihilating their permanents. Cryptic Coat is quite good when you have tons of mana, which our deck is going to have because we're not going to get wastelanded or affected by Blood Moon or really anything, right? And then I've still got the 2 back to basics, still got the 2 dress downs, the 4 consigns, the 4 force. I just moved one to the side and I trimmed a Wrath. Like, Wrath was not great in this league. I think I may have boarded it in once, but I didn't even want to cast it because I didn't want to kill my Phelia. It's just, it's not really where you want to be, but like if we go up against Affinity, it could be good. Certainly if we go up against Painter, it's good. I mean, you could definitely argue that this should just be dress down number 3. Like, really, where is this going to come in handy? Like, we essentially have 10 removal spells already for Mardu tokens and Moonshadow aggro, which I've done my best to make a thing in Legacy. Maybe it should just be another dress down. Like, it's a blue card that pitches the force, is good against combo, that relies on... Yeah, I think I'd probably do that. Oh, wait. What did I trim? Did I trim the wrong thing? All right, trim the wrong thing. Remedied. So I'm going to play a league with this. To anybody out there who's thinking you need to spend a lot of money to get into Legacy, you don't, frankly. I'm going to go ahead and rattle off some of my builds that are doing quite well. I've run into people in paper tournaments. I've run into people on leagues playing with my decks. Again, I don't want to act like I'm some big like tastemaker in the Legacy scene, but I would argue that like I'm doing a lot of exciting stuff in the budget Legacy area. Before, for years, it was like, oh, what budget decks are there in Legacy? Burn, just play Burn. You know, well, there's a better version of Burn that's like a little bit more expensive. It's Black-Red Burn. Check out my videos on that. There is the Bobble Aggro with Storm Chaser talent. And I think that's a solid build. Like, check that out. If you have the Urza's, like the deck is like $600 and it slaps. It's like really good. I saw Thraben Yu used it on his channel and he did really well with it. He was saying like this deck feels unfair basically. And I'm very proud of that design. And I'm proud of this. Like, I know this is not that big of a departure from, for example, the Eternal Weekend Asia list that was playing like a bunch of dazes and stuff, but it's totally different. And even Bosch and Roll, I heard him on the Eternal Glory podcast recently. I listened to it this morning during my walk to the gym. And he was saying that like that it's not how he would build Stoneblade. I've theorized, Bosch and Roll, if you're watching this, I theorize this is more akin to how you would build it. Now you'd probably be playing like some Tundras and stuff like that. But I like Stoneblade is definitely like a control deck that doesn't need to end the game quickly, right? That is my feel. And if we really need to end the game quickly, like Phelia, Riddler generally prompts concessions because it's so card advantage powerful. I think this deck will do a great job of staying alive, and I'm looking forward to playing it in the next league. Let's pull up the league, the deck that we recorded here, though. This isn't it either. This is it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so much fun. I love this, and again, I'm not sold on like I think Roiling Dragonstorm is good when you're playing 4 Mercs and probably 2 of the Sailor's Bane. I love that deck. I might play it again. Leave a comment if you want me to play the Sailor's Bane deck again. That was really fun. However, Mono Blue, it is rough like when you're trying to, kill stuff with Dismember and you start running low on life. I mean, Plow is it's worth splashing white. But then if you splash white, you want to play Solitude, which is an insane card. People sleep on this on Legacy, but it's so clutch. Like, how many of those games would we have maybe lost if we hadn't had access to Solitude, right? But then you have to go pretty deep into the white. So I think like we can go even deeper into the white, make Solitude even better while still having enough blue to support Force with this new build. So again, this is the list I played. I had a blast. I hope you had a blast. You can like, subscribe, become a most excellent friend and get early access to all my videos. I publish them sometimes weeks before they gradually go live on my feed. Again, just because I create tons of leagues at one sitting and then I have to go do business trips and stuff and don't have time to do stuff. But the other thing I'll say, just tell your friends. If you have friends that are playing Modern, playing Standard, playing Pioneer, I heard Pioneer is not doing so well right now, and they're looking for a new format, just be like, Legacy has a reputation for being very expensive, but it is a very deep format. And there are lots of budget entrees. You don't have to commit, $5,000, $10,000 to be able to play a decent range of decks. You can just get some Prismatic Vistas. You can get some Forces and maybe a few Fire Design recent additions to Magic, and you can win. And I'm going to keep trying to demonstrate that you don't have to have duels. You don't have to have City of Traders. You don't have to have Lion's Eye Diamonds. Or even Phyrexian Dreadnoughts to win in Legacy. Until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.